Okay, welcome back to POFO Community for Justice. My name is Apostle Cecil Hatchett, and here we are again in 2016 of June, and it's fantastic that I'm out here speaking to all you wonderful people out there in TV land. I was expecting to have a guest on today, Brother Broussard, but he wasn't able to make it, so I didn't bring a lot of my material because I was pretty much looking forward to he and I speaking to all you people out there in TV land and doing a lot of follow-up information regarding any and everything. But he's generally pretty informational when it comes to talking about people and their problems. So I was excitedly looking forward to him being here, and that's not the case right now, or at this moment. Maybe he'll come in shortly. Well, anyway, so what is doing? I'll just I want to cover a lot of subject matters such as on foreclosure on people's homes, because I have a friend of mine and that we go check and talk with people regarding their foreclosures or being in foreclosure, and people will calm them into believing that, and I'm talking about Millennium and Aqua and Aqua. Millennium Group went out of business because of their dastardly evil deeds. And I'm glad they're out of business. I'm trying to sue them, Aquin, and the U.S. Bank about trying to illegally take my property and rip me off, and I'm not going for it. And I'm trying to tell all you people out there in TV land, don't go for it. Don't be stuck on stupid or be silly about people doing evil things to you, and especially when people tell you that you can't file a Chapter 13. Any and everybody can file a Chapter 13 if they're trying to save their property, and that's what that does. It pretty much puts the brakes on anyone that's trying to obtain your property, or it allows you a second chance or a third chance, or however many times you did a Chapter 13. I don't know what the amount of time you have to wait before you refile, but if there have been some hanky-panky or some shenanigans taking place, then taking place, then those are the issues that you'll be faced with. So that's what I'm saying to you right now. All you people out there in TV land, in the world, anywhere where you at, human beings that are trying to get their lives together, and you got people coming at you, lying, talking outside their neck, or tricking you into believing that you can't file a Chapter 13. They're lying to you, and you need to get an attorney. I got an attorney named Scott Levin that I deal with, and he's real good and to help anybody and everybody that would require his help, and so he was really decent with me on working out a price to get started to saving my property, and I'm trying to bring these people to justice that try to do these evil things to me, thinking I would throw my hands to the heavens, feel like a quitter, and give up as a Negro, colored, black, African American. And I'm trying to let you know that it's belonging to the Negro race that you have to stand up and be counted. And the reason why I put so many emphasis on the Negro race, because they've been trampled on, trodden on, and treated any and every kind of way. And then when people got tired of walking the dog on us as a people, then they started going after other races and playing the same game, another name. And I'm just saying, this is what America does. They try to act like 9/11 and kill over 3 million people about people, 19 people in a box cutter. And we know now, 10 years later, that was a bunch of crap. So people will sit in your face. And the reason why I use that and put emphasis on it, because a lot of white people lost their families and and people of all different races, but I make emphasis on white Americans or white human beings, because they got loved ones and people that they care about that was lost in the collapsing of the Twin Towers and the Building 7 that had collapsed, and there was a Negro or black African American, because I don't know what the nationality would be. He immediately spoke about the building number 7 and how it was explosions taking place in the building, and it collapsed. The Twin Towers had collapsed, and he was trapped in that building. And then finally, the fire department came and helped him, assisted him out of that building, and other people and him and his friend and got them out of that building. And someone killed him. And this is what happens to Negro, colored, black African Americans when they speak out. He was on camera. People could see him and could watch everything that he's talking about. Later on, when Niff was time to try and lie about there was no explosion and transferred all the equipment out of the country and sent it to China or whatever they did, trying to cover up a crime scene, and you can't blame it on 19 people with a box cutter, because if they were that sophisticated, they would have came with something more deadly or devastating and willing to take lives as well, to do whatever they wanted to do. But they were allowed to get on the planes and whatever, and the planes weren't loaded with a lot of people. So I don't know if those are the right planes that crashed into the Twin Towers or not, but they had crashed planes into the Twin Towers. So I just want you people out there in TV land to pay attention, and that's why I use programs when I speak as a Negro, colored, black African American, because generally when a black man is speaking or Negro, colored, African American is speaking, they treat him like, well, he's just an uneducated spewing things out of his mouth that he has no knowledge to. And that's why I play movies for you, because I have very highly educated white people that got tons of degrees, and they're speaking about all the evil things that have taken place, and they're blaming it on America, not on other countries, as if it was done by them. So I just want to bring these people to justice, and that I want all Americans and all human beings to bring these evil people to justice, because people have lots of money and they just don't know what to do next, and they're not paying their taxes. They're claiming zero taxes and pretending like they're broke and or not broke, but they've when they get to, or it's time to pay taxes on the money, they got money offshore or other places. So today I have Brother Broussard here with me. He's here right now, and I'll turn the camera back to Brother Broussard, and here we go. Happy to see you, Brother Broussard.
Well, hey, same to you, Cecil. I was lacking some of your references. I looked like you left out one. You said.
Go ahead, let the people know.
You said colored. You said colored.
Negro, colored, African American.
Negro, colored, African American, and then black.
And black.
That's what we are today.
Yeah, and black people. Yeah, because those are titles that they give us.
Exactly.
And
it's very important, though.
Yeah, because
we've gotten down to the point now that maybe that might make some sense. I'm gonna throw something out to you. You
Go
know,
ahead.
when you say black Americans, right? So maybe we might solve a few things. That black American, several different colors: black, white, red, and yellow. Right? Remember that? Used to
I understand that, but what I'm really focusing on
I know.
is Negro.
I understand,
because really
those are
the people that have had the hardest time,
yes,
and that had been persecuted and done the worst,
yes,
are the Negro race. And when they were brought over from Africa, they were here with one intention.
Exactly.
They was bought and sold as Negroes, and treating them like they don't have no good mind. They need to be guided and directed as human beings.
Exactly.
And that was a problem. And that's a problem even to this day.
Yes.
When it came to the differences in education,
right,
we were always, to this very day in 2016, behind in education.
Right.
So when you weren't educating black people, but yet still you wanted to be credited for trying to educate them, that's why the GED came in. It's just another way of saying, well, if this spook just want to learn at some worthless level, we'll give him credit for it and give him a certificate and graduate him from high school, because apparently his learning ability and nobody else is putting energy toward him or her achieving a higher level of education, and we can't, these people come back to us later suing us because they're saying, I've graduated from college and I still can't read, write, or spell, or graduated from high school and I still can't read, write, or spell. It's a problem of the United States that has to deal with, well, we're not trying to be stuck with all these bills, all these lawsuits, and they did get sued. We have sued America because United States of America, because of lack of education, because when it's been 400 years of slavery, that's how people love to write it off, but I'm saying it's way past that 500 years, because to this day, 2016, we still are treated indifferently, and people treat it like, well, you can go to school and get an education. You can't. But if your family or your mom and dad couldn't read from in the old days, or if they could read real well, it was just to survival sake. So they got good jobs. I mean, a lot of people got great jobs and got college degrees and everything. But I'm just saying, on the norm, many people were just so happy just to get out of school because we had the leftover books and leftover everything. So they were going along with that education. And then when they get to try and get a job, there was this minimum wage jobs, and they're intelligent enough to talk to people getting moved up in higher positions, but basically they're grooming they got us grooming other people for that position and greater, or making them supervisors or owners of the company and all that. They exceed you or go past whatever level you're at, because the people just use you up to get to where their children they want them to be at, or whatever position. And then as time goes on, we as Negro, colored, black, African Americans have those jobs, and in a short period of time, maybe 5 or 10 years, those jobs disappear. Or maybe we can keep it a lifetime and people put us in these little boxes, and this is where we spend our career working and making little piddlings of money. But many people have always made 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000, 100, 2 and 3 and 4 or $500,000 or millions of dollars. But we would still be working in the same little go nowhere fast positions. And these are the things that I'm making reference to, is that to this very day in 2016, my mind is sharp enough to set everything up in here, and I am able to ask people that when I got a problem with certain equipment is not working right or not functioning correctly, I can get wonderful people like Noah and Vo to help me get things back working correctly, so that I can proceed forward. But by the time 3 o'clock comes, I'm on the air, because Sister Ellie and Brother Ron is with me, moving POFO Community Need for Justice forward. And I'm happy that you're here today, because you have wonderful things to say to the wonderful people out there in TV land. And I was thinking I was going to have been here by myself.
I'm going to be.
But you're here right now.
I'm going to be. But you know, I want to also make sure that the folks out there in TV land understand what you bring to the table too in this show. Okay. You're very historical, very factual aspect of it, and I guess sometimes I think about, you're always talking about solutions. You know, you're always talking about solutions to the problem. A lot of times on the other side, as far as the majority concerned, majority of people, and in many cases, some of our people,
I understand,
they don't have that history.
That's true.
And it should be taught in the schools.
It should be taught in the schools.
If it was taught in the schools, you know, when you mentioned revolution, when we talk about the revolution in this country, and then we talked about the civil rights era issue, that's history.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't hide the clans, whatever, but that's history.
It's all history.
People
it needs
need
to be
to
talked
know,
about.
need to be talked about.
Right.
Unfortunately, we still don't have it in our educational system.
Yeah, we don't, because they swept it under the rug.
Exactly, and all due respect, but we got to keep it on the table.
We got to keep it, because
I like you, because that's right. That's what I like. That's why I like the idea of coming here.
Yes,
you know, because I really appreciate the fact you bringing the issue out. That means that gives me an opportunity to hit it, double hit.
Amen. Well, I love that. Thank you very much.
It's a double hit.
I love it.
And you're the only one that I know of that's doing it.
Well,
you know, in all due respect.
Yes.
And recognizing the fact that, and you are getting to some folks, because when I look at the folks in the control room aspect of it, they don't look like us.
Oh, man.
But they're very committed. You know
they're very committed.
So you're communicating. You are getting folks
to
understand what's going on. All we need to do is just make it, if we can get it in the educational system, in the books.
Yes.
Because in all due respect, you know, what they say, you can't teach old dogs new tricks, right?
Yeah, that's what people try to say. Yeah.
But the bottom line, I think we can help some of them, right?
Oh, amen. Yeah.
But the kids need to be taught now today.
Yes, they do.
So maybe at some point in time, you know, just excuse the French, just like not excuse the French, but that was history.
Yeah.
The fact that we had an African American who's president of the United States.
Yes,
got a few more months yet.
Amen. Yes,
and then he spent 8 years.
I'm happy he's president.
So, yes, but the bottom line is that after that day, there are individuals that are saying, "Ain't no way this is going to happen again." Out there, you see what I'm saying?
Well, they can think that if they want to.
But that's why I'm saying it's so important, even to that person that may be thinking about that. You don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
You know, you don't do that. You know, we can all be Americans. You know, just we have to work at it.
Right,
and all we have to do is put it in the education system.
Yes, well, because he
first grade,
and got
first grade all the way through the process.
Absolutely,
and you know, and when I think about that, and I think about this presidential election right now with Sanders, and some of the folks have mentioned the fact that one should be able to get a free degree.
That would be great. That's what we should be.
But make sure they tell the facts about the history of this country.
Oh, absolutely. They got
no one talks about it, but no one don't. They don't talk about it. Well, see, teachers don't even get that when they're going through this. They got black studies, but you can take that if you want to, but that should be a requirement.
Yeah, absolutely.
To understand about history of this country.
Yes.
You got very, 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 very important. So I think the other thing I think about, you were talking about September 11th. You know, you were talking about that whole issue about the Twin Towers and this, that, and the other aspect of it. And then just recently, you know, naturally in Florida, we just went through this horrific situation of these folks being i.e. murdered or whatever.
Okay.
At this place, if you will, up in Florida, right?
Oh, we talking about where the gays were killed?
Yeah, for 49 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, again, let's get down to some of the facts there on that issue.
Okay.
Because you know, we're talking about immigration issues. We're talking about legal and non-illegal and undocumented things of that nature. Okay. And a lot of folks are thinking, well, we're supposed to be a melting pot. Absolutely. But we still haven't gotten there yet. See, but the fact of the matter is, when you start thinking about that issue today, and we can talk a little bit more about that at another point in time, but you know, it was a whole bunch of issues about the gays and the LGBT community aspect of it.
Okay. But what's the LGBT community? What is that?
I say gays, but it's the whole definition.
You're talking about lesbians, homosexuals, bisexuals, and all those people.
I don't understand. But my point is, but the point of the matter is that happened to those are the majority of the folks that were there.
Yes.
You know, supposedly. Okay. Now, again, supposedly there was this foreign individual who was a citizen, but his parents immigrated here. They were Muslims, right?
But so he was raised all his life.
He was raised all right. But
the person that did the killing was an American.
But Daddy was doing the teaching. He had a father.
But it didn't say nothing about his father, or did it?
You know, they talked about him from the standpoint that, you know, they recognized who he was, but they kept making the point that the young man was an American citizen. Okay, fine, but his culture was still being taught to him at the mosque.
But it's the nice thing that I love is I'm happy they're being taught their culture.
Right.
But now they're trying to say ISIS was the people that was a part of this killing, and this kid, they're trying to identify him to ISIS, and it's just a individual that killed 50 people and injured 50 people, and now they're trying to make it a race issue because there's a white woman that was killed the day before that, and it was a little white child that was killed before that too, and nobody's trying to raise Cain about that or speak on it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, there's a thank you very much. She gave us the deal. Now she gave us the real deal.
Wonderful.
Is it lesbian, bisexual, gay, and transsexual?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good.
And they have a right. They're human beings.
Yes,
and if they want to run up in someone's back door to enjoy themselves, I'm saying I'm not mad about it. Let them do that. And if they want
that door,
that's what they're doing. If they want to run up in they behind, let's say, that's where I'm going to use the language, because a lot of people trying to misconstrue what I'm saying. If they want to have gay sex and he's going up in this guy's Duke shoot, so I'm just trying to put it more bluntly. That's what I'm saying. Do this. They do that. I don't care. And if the ladies are sitting over here eating panty pie and they enjoy that, then do that. And they got heterosexuals that do all the same things as people. So they're human beings. And if you choose that lifestyle, you can't impregnate nobody by eating panty pie, and you can't impregnate nobody by going in their Duke shoot and having relationships. So I'm just saying.
But you done thrown out some stuff that I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm trying to let people know these are chosen behaviors, and if they find joy in those behaviors, they're human beings. I'm not mad at them. And we shouldn't think that a guy should come in there because he didn't see two gay people kissing and hugging, and that he wants to murder them and everybody in the club because he's against that. And I don't care what his race is or what nationality he came from. I don't want them to accuse that race of thinking that's what they're promoting, because that's how people try to destroy the Negro race. That if you found a couple of black people acting a fool, then kill them all. And that be the wrong concept of behavior. And most people try to imprint that in their head. That's when they was at 9/11 going after the people that said that they took people hostage with box cutters, and then they went there and killed 3 million people because 3,000 people died here in the United States. But the buildings, when they collapsed, They weren't collapsed because somebody hit a box cutter somewhere in the Twin Towers and the box cutter got so hot that the place collapsed. Yeah. And then the same thing with Building 7. It didn't get hit by a plane or nothing, and it collapsed because these are controlled demolition brought on by Americans or people in America. And when you put the language correctly, and I'm just trying to want white people to know that you ain't ignorant or stupid, but here it is 10 years going by and nobody's doing nothing. And the reason why I tried to identify blacks to these same events, because I can play the movies, which I have played on TV, that would expose that there's horrible things going on in America, and then we're spending billions and trillions of dollars acting like we're trying to solve a problem, or we're creating more of a problem. But when you get people excited and get them pumped up, then they want to kill, be crazy. And then when the truth has been brought to their attention, then everybody gets quiet as a church mouse. They're not raising no hell about nothing or saying nothing negative about something. They're still trying to persecute O.J. Simpson. Nicole Simpson died, and here she is all these years later, 20 years later, and they still are doing movies about O.J. Simpson and still trying to persecute this black man for having did something that he didn't do, and he was exonerated. Oh, thank you. And was cleared of, and people still want to be mad and upset. And that's what people do. They play on people's fears. They play on people being frightened, and they push that. So when this guy went to that club and killed 50 people and injured, well, wow, this is a way for us to beg for more money, to stricken more gun laws, or excite people about passing bills about making it mandatory for people to have to get guns. Well, everybody that got guns ain't worried about trying to get a gun because they got plenty of guns. But those that ain't never had a gun before, you got a 3-day waiting period. They saying, oh no, we need F.B.I. and they need more time to reinvestigate the person. So that may get stretched out to maybe a week or two to get a gun. But that's the person in 2016 that wants to have a gun. They're putting people in jail, and especially the Negro, colored, black, African American. They put them in jail to make sure that if we do have problems, we'll arrest them all legally and saying, or you're cohorting with certain people or being in a certain company where you want to express your voice. But if you get with a lot of people and you happen to be standing next to people with guns, be you know it or not, then they say you can arrest you because they're saying you're in that circle of people, and we're thinking you're trying to kill or shoot people or do something crazy. And I'm saying those things all need to be weighed and assessed. So when I play all these movies that I play on television, I play them because I have wonderful white people that are intelligently and intellectually saying things that all white people and human beings should be listening to and paying attention to. And hopefully it'll touch them in their heart. So when they see me, they be thinking, well, this ignorant nigga sitting on TV just running his mouth, know what he talking about. I'll play movies for you where you got intelligent white folk, and I'm not no nigga, and I'm not calling myself a nigga, but I'm trying to let you people know, if you thinking like that, thinking like got your head up your behind, looking through your navel, trying to assess me, you got it all ass backwards. As I got this little donkey here to verify, and that you need to pay more stricter attention to what's going on, because horrible things are going on, and everybody's thinking, well, I'm religion, I love Jesus, and we need to go to these other countries and kill people. And I'm saying, don't be running around trying to promote that foolishness. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't let Bush get you drunk with excitement and that kill, because we got better bullets, better guns, and getting greater weapons and all that. And yeah, put movies on TV where you can watch a bunch of people be killed or murdered, and got these drones killing someone, and they like say, well, we got a little, maybe a little friendly fire, maybe kill 50 people beside them or around them or near the person, but the main culprit we've killed is who we want, and that's protecting America. Well, people's mama, daughter, sister, brothers have been killed, their babies have been killed. They were dropping bombs that would damage your eardrums if you playing with firecrackers, which on the 4th of July will come. And you could just during there injure or deafen someone if they bring a child close enough to that explosion where that would cause them ear problems or things of that nature. Well, think about when bombs are being dropped and all those people, wherever they are, their homes are being shaken, people are being killed, and people are just dismissing it like, well, we're still trying to get after the culprit. I'm saying Saddam Hussein or Bin Laden, or these are just little puppets that the United States have used these people like clowns. And when and then when it was time to turn the table, they went after these people with a vengeance. But all these wonderful human beings were murdered and killed, and that's what I'm wanting, is that 9/11 needs to be solved, because this is white Americans that are saying, oh, that needs to stop. But here it is 10 years later, and when black people were getting killed, lynched, raped, and having all kind of stuff done to them, people just kind of was talked into calming down. Don't worry about it. Everything will be all right. And that's what people do to this day in 2016. That's when like I said, I had one gentleman on my show, and he said, well, blacks spending more time killing blacks. I'm saying, because I be telling people, well, you need to bring somebody on my show to interview you, because I'm not going to sit and listen to all this BS if that's what you're trying to shoot to me. And I'll just use the term BS as brown sugar or bad services. That if for all you people out there in TV land that is like saying, wow, he's using words that's cussing. I'm saying, no, I'm using words that you can identify to, but I put the proper spin on it. So when you call them MFs, and when I say MFs, I'm saying my friends. So I just want people to understand their minds have been brainwashed into believing that he's borderline cussing and doing crazy. That's why I bring this bitch dog on my show and this donkey on my show, and I can use the word stupid ass, dumb ass, or ignorant ass, or sorry ass, or whatever words that I use, but it'll be relating to the donkey. And that's how people try to relate to us as Negro, colored, African Americans.
But that's education.
And that's why they think, well, why you got these puppets on your show? They're here so that when people are talking from their heart,
you throw them up there.
I put them up there so when people say things that they can relate to how they've been treated and kicked around and stumped out and all that stuff. So he said, well, you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. Maybe you your donkey don't know from a hole in the ground or what they are. So I just want you people out there in TV land to broaden your minds, that when black people speak or Negro, colored, African Americans speak, they're trying to get a message out to you, but don't be stuck on the words that's proceeding out of my mouth and can't go beyond that, because my conversation goes truly beyond that. Okay. And I've had a stroke and everything, and I'm still pushing, playing to win.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You know we can appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Well, the point of it, again, not trying to be redundant again,
yeah.
That's why you're so excited.
Thank you.
You're getting it down to the people who need to know.
Amen. That's what it's all about.
They're not getting it into in the classroom.
No.
They haven't gotten it in the classroom.
No, they haven't.
So this is their schooling right now.
Absolutely. Yes, praise God Almighty.
And the eyes may be T's.
Yes, right.
May be eyes.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, this show gives them that opportunity to kind of get a better feel of what's going on. Because too often, even in our society today, everybody's very upset about the Congress.
Yes.
They're down in the hole. Well, in all due respect, they're not getting the representation in many ways. So a lot of times the people, they're just being used. The only time that they get talked to is when they get the piece of paper in the mail, say, vote for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Give you all the flowers and bells and whistles and whatever, you vote for them, and then once it's over with, they don't say, well, why'd they do this?
Right.
Well, it's over with now.
Yeah, it's over with now.
You got 2 more years, 4 more years,
yes,
and then you forget. People know
absolutely.
You forget, see what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to get back to some of the points that you were making there. I think, again, it's history. It's history.
Amen.
It needs to be taught in the classroom. I keep
Absolutely.
going.
Absolutely.
Now, the other reason why I brought that up and thinking about what you were saying, today is a very important day.
Yes.
And we've been downplaying it. It's called Father's Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's very important.
I understand about the horrific situation.
Yes.
But I can still remember, Cecil, I've been lobbying for this for a long time here in the city of Portland. That the gay pride activities should be on another weekend other than Father's Day.
Right.
Because as you know, in all due respect, I'm being straight up, black men, African American men, we're constantly saying, well, they need to be more attentive to their families, you know what I mean, and their kids and whatever.
True.
But yet and still, we don't even have Father's Day anymore. In fact, we barely get to the point where we won't identify Mother's Day. We got to bring those entities back to the table, if you will. A father is a father is a father. In fact, nowadays, a father may be a mother. A lot of times they're by themselves, and so they're
Absolutely.
raising the kids on their own.
I agree. I agree.
But we need to emphasize that day, even if it's just that day. Just say, hey, look here, this is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Now, naturally, if you can afford a smartphone, you can see a Father's Day. A lot of folks are just posting it, right?
Yes,
you got me?
great. Yes.
But the majority of the people they can't afford it. You
Oh,
understand me?
absolutely, absolutely.
So Father's Day is a very important day, and I would hope that the community, the LBGT community, will come back to the table. I'm asking here, maybe we can invite them on here. And
they're welcome to come on Popo Community
and talk
Justice
about and just kind of like talk a bit about how important it is.
Yes.
If they don't want to think about these other cultures, I say how important it is for black folks.
And when you say
LBG, that's not black, is it?
Yeah, well, no, it's not. I'm just saying. When I'd rather say what they're
what they're dealing.
Yeah,
the lesbian, bisexual, gay, and transsexual.
Yeah, and I'm
community.
happy that you're saying those, because those are words that need to be out there in TV land.
Exactly.
That's in people's ears. When
and this is not all of them, if you will, basically. But my point is that I sure wish the powers to be, if you will, the ones who are basically putting on the events, would consider doing that day on another Sunday, another weekend. In fact, now they're talking about taking the whole month of June. You know, next thing is going to be the whole month of May. That's when Mother's Day appears, see?
Yeah.
And then we won't have Mother's Day, we won't have Father's Day. So,
well, what happened? Does Father's Day still exist?
Yeah, but my point is that there's no emphasis. You know, like anything else, there's no emphasis. The big thing here in Portland is the lesbian, sexual, gay, and transsexual.
Okay, that's what people are promoting. So
I'll
say right now, Happy Father's Day to all you fathers right now today.
And they got their fathers too.
Yes.
That's how they got here.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Yes,
you know what I'm
very
saying?
true.
So it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone.
Everyone,
but
yes.
Consider setting aside that one day out of the year.
Okay,
that's Father's Day. That's all I'm suggesting. You got me?
Well, that's Brother Bruce Hart letting you people out there in TV land know that they should consider setting that one day aside, or whatever, how many days they want to, but make sure that Father's Day has its day, so it can get its message out there to you fathers out there that brought human beings into this world, and are very happy about that and greatly appreciated for having done so, even though a lot of you aren't still with the mom, or a lot of the moms still aren't with the dads. They still can get recognized that they've reprocreated and brought life into this world, and we need more life into this world. And all these birth control pills and all this other crap, it used to start out if you raped somebody or did something horrible, hideous to them, that they have a right to abort the child. But now the birth control people are pushing that if you want to run around with your drawers around your ankles and get knocked up, well, we have a solution, and we are happy to bring you over to wherever it is to dismiss that child from your womb,
which is a major issue,
and give you a chance to start over again,
really
go back to hoeing or cheating or clowning around or whatever you want to do. And I'm saying I'm not promoting that. I believe in marriage. I believe in people getting married and people being together as husband and wife.
That's another issue.
And
give them a break too. Give them the opportunities to come.
Yeah, and not trying to make women sterilized or aborting a child or whatever they do to make them feel like, oh, if you like that guy, you can really prove how much you like him because you didn't drop your drawers and excited him enough that he didn't drop his drawers, and now you guys are engaging in a worldly behavior that possibly could bring about a child. But as soon as he finished getting all what he wants from you and releases himself or sexually gets fulfilled, he goes on about his business and wipes his wick on the rug and go on and forget about you. And there you are 9 months later carrying a child, and you're trying to figure out who the daddy is because he didn't lie and told you his name was Joe Blow from Kokomo when it wasn't, and the job that he said he had as a president of a company, he never had a job president. In fact, he's been ready to picked up and be put back under the jail where he belongs, or whatever he's doing to you women to get you excited enough to make you concede, or whatever you men are doing enough. Busy enough to make you to concede to worldly behaviors. We need to work on correcting that, and we need better activities to help each other, to help one another as human beings, period.
And the definition of father and mother would help along that line.
Amen. So that's why I push people getting married or becoming husband and wife, because hopefully they could have that title. I look at that movie that I saw on television. It was called Blackish. His wife's name was her last name was the same as her husband's last name, and she she said she had never gave her name up, and he was upset about that because he was thinking that she was carrying his last name, and all the time she was carrying her name, and he was trying to get her to change her name to the same name as what he had. So it was like a comical, but it was a way of people trying to present views of that. I just kept my name. You can keep your name. You can just put it as a hyphenated in the course of whoever name that you chose to take, and your name can be still remembered and kept forever. And because a lot of Spanish people, they keep their family name in all their when they're born. There's just a lot of ways that they work their mother's name into the to the relationship, and that's what they could do even now this day. But she was just very steadfast about
her name.
About that. I just kept my last name as if she was making a statement, and they thinking, well, generally what to happen is a woman gets married and she takes on her husband's last name. That's just a sign of showing that I just respect what you are and what you're doing.
And tradition of the family.
And tradition of the family. And so that's fine too, but you can always hyphenate your name incorporate into this conversation, and that would be your name, and it would go through all your life until somewhere along the line someone decides to change it. But these are ways to preserve the information of remembering your family heritage, because family heritage is very important, and I think that everybody should want to remember who their mom was, and when she married, when the daughter married a man and took on his last name, she still incorporate her mama's last name and and his new name. So that's what you're doing. You're trying to maintain the family heritage where along the lines of where the woman is, and so that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you again. I got, as you know, I got to go to make that other.
I wish you could have stayed longer.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I really wanted to do more.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It was looking good, but we got Father's Day in there, right?
Yes, we did. We got the information Father's Day, and he was asking.
We'll work it out. Yeah, we'll work it out. Maybe hopefully can mention that again. We'll get together and talk about that a little bit more. And if anybody else would be interested. And just call up the community.
Call up.
Maybe they're part of the organization.
You can be part of it. Send anybody from your organization to talk to Portland Community Need for Justice, and Brother Bruce Broussard will sit down, and we'll all sit down and have a talk about.
Maybe there's something about not having it on Father's Day.
Right.
Maybe we're missing.
Right, and that's what I'd like to hear about, and all the people in TV land would love to hear about.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
always a pleasure, my brother.
Thank you very much for coming on.
You do such a great job.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy you came.
Keep doing it.
Okay, stay blessed, and thank you, Brother Bruce.
Sure will. Thank
all right, thank you. Okay, we'll see you later, brother. Okay, and you have a great show. You're gonna go do your show right now.
I'll mention your name.
Amen. Well, I appreciate that, brother. Okay, all you people out there in TV land. That was Brother Bruce Broussard that was just here with me. He did come to join me, and I had a lot of information that I wanted to communicate to you people out there in TV land that I feel is very important. And he made reference to the gays and the lesbians that are trying to use Father's Day as wanting the people to know that that's the day that they celebrate their behaviors. And I'm just saying, well, then if Brother Broussard wants to have a meeting and talk to you on air and maybe try and talk to you about getting a different date, then maybe you could come to some kind of terms. Me, I don't care what you do as far as you be safe and don't try and hurt or injure or kill nobody, because I care about human life across the board, period. Thank Sister Ellie. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. And so whatever you people are doing, if you got things that you're very convicted to or feel strongly about, then do that. And if you want to air it on television, Sister Ellie helps me make sure that I'm on YouTube and that everybody can hear me on YouTube. If they missed the show, that they can still hear this show on YouTube. It's running live right now, and that is so important. So if somebody does you wrong or does something crazy or silly to you, then what you do, you come on my show and talk to those issues, talk very succinctly or distinctly about those issues, and then you can tell whatever lawyers or whoever you're trying to get to pay attention to what you're talking about, that they can find it on YouTube on this date. If these are whatever date it is when you come on Pofolk Community for Justice that date, you can make sure that everything you have to say can be heard around the United States or around the world, because tons of people get YouTube. My family is in another country, they get YouTube, so everybody's connected. We're all connected to each other as human beings. There's not a bit of information that pours out of our mouths that isn't picked up by the media or by the YouTube or by whatever Google or whatever activity that you're trying to move forward, that it can be picked up and preserved so that you can bring it to people's attention at a later date. And then if you had a stroke or whatever may have happened to you in your life and you can't communicate as rapidly or as quickly as you are used to being able to do, you can say, well, you can just play that time when I talked about these hideous issues that you people had imposed on me, and I was on Pofolk Community for Justice, and I'm trying to get a lawyer to help move this issue forward, because that's what I'm doing right now. I went to go check with the people that's for senior citizens, and me being a senior citizen, I made an appointment to trying to get a senior citizen lawyer, and hopefully I'll go see them and express to them about what U.S. Bank and Millennium and what Aquin Loan is doing, trying to play me out of pocket and looking straight face. Everyone's trying to sidestep the issue, and that's why I push the word Negro, because I want people to know this has been going on forever with the Negro race, and I'm a part of the Negro race. My mother and father are Negroes, and they've been through horrific things, but they raised us and cared for us and made it possible for us to go through life and do great things and do wonderful things. And as far as I'm concerned, that helped steer me toward television so that I could do these wonderful shows, because I'm trying to get the message out. So when policemen be trying to play me out of pocket, or parole or probation officers trying to play me out of pocket, I know by next week I'm going to be on television to talk to those matters, and I'm going to make it very visible to people when they do things to me or do things to other people, because if you're doing it to me, you're probably doing it to somebody or everybody else, and that's what I want to do. I want to expose your evil, wicked behavior, and so that down the road, if that person needs to be brought to justice, then it won't be just me saying it. It'll be anybody that came on this show making reference to the same individual and can bring verifiable information that they can put on the ammo and can show that they have documentation proving that people said certain things to them or did certain things to them. That would be your record that you would be, even on television, be like swearing to in saying that this is what I'm saying, and you're looking me in my face, and this is a live show, so it won't be like you were able to alter it or make it up or twist it or all that or flip it or whatever you're doing. So it could have been a dying testimony or whatever that would stand for you, so that if you came on the show and if your children wanted to pursue it, they could help move your issue forward. And that's what, if I died today, my children would be able to move the issue forward about Millennium, Aquin, and a U.S. Bank trying to steal or illegally possess my property. I make payments to these people, outlandish payments to these people. They don't care, because it's just money. Everybody's trying to fatten their pockets, and they don't care if win, lose, or draw. They don't care. They're just trying to saying we need this land, and we'd be better able to serve ourselves. We have possession of your land as opposed to you. We don't care where you go. You can always go to a Section 8 or live under the bridge or whatever. They truly could care less. They'd be like, we'd be glad when you've been and dropped dead. You got a congestive heart failure. You got all these other ailments. So we think you're sorry behind, should be checking out pretty soon anyway. So we're just going to try and wait you out. And I'm saying, if you're doing all these illegal things, that you need to be brought to justice on it. I'm trying to sue you for $16 billion. And if I do, I would put money toward to help people play to win and to fight and play to win and win, because that's what my show is all about, is about playing to win and winning. People attack me, if they at one time did back in the day, if they're trying to hurt or injure people, people would come and get in touch with me, and I would try to go with them to help them try to resolve the problem. But if the people would decide that they want to attack me or try and do something evil to me, well, they end up in the dirt nap mode because I don't care, because I'm playing to win. And for anybody that I love that are really trying to go with their lives and do what's right for themselves and people that they love, that I'm championing their cause with them. And I'm 100% trying to move forward with them on what they're trying to accomplish in their cause. So I'm not a person that coddle up to a lot of people or get close to people. I'm pretty much like a loner. I just love what I do, and I always try and show up to be on POFO Community for Justice, or when I had to when I had my stroke and I went out to, my children got in touch with me and I stayed with them for a little while. And then when I had the people or whatever it was just very enjoyable to enjoy my family and to be loved and to love them. But I love my wives and my children and everybody. And I may be a very difficult person to get along with because I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I'm not playing and I'm not hungry for friends in a way where I make these satanical compromises. And on my show, I have wonderful white people to help me make my show possible. I have wonderful white friends that help me do all the wonderful things that I do and achieve. And they can read, write, and spell and write way better than I can. And sometimes I'll do a lot of writing, but words may be misspelled or incorrectly written down or whatever, but I can understand and relate to it. And I'm saying this because tons of black people, Negro, colored, African American people have had those challenges put before them, but no one's trying to help them move forward. And when Brother Broussard were talking about giving people free education for college and everything, I think that they should do that for any and everybody. Very important. We have 10 minutes. Okay, thank you, Brother Ron. It's very important. So have been very fortunate to run into people that have helped me to move my agenda forward. But I pay close attention and I grasp things very quickly. But right now I'm supposed to be getting some glasses. I said that last week on my show and I'm saying it today. But I do have the prescription and I'll go get that fulfilled. And a family cares people will get me some glasses and I'll be in good shape. So that's the kind of insurance that I have, and they'll help me move forward in that sense. And then I'll be able to read things, and the vision won't be going in and out from the various inexpensive glasses that I'll be buying to and when I do a lot of reading, if I sit in certain distances, the words become blurred, and then it's difficult for me to finish communicating what I've written down or say it. So it's very important, but all those things are coming and all this will be just fine. But I don't care if you'd had stroke or whatever. You're welcome to come on POFO Community for Justice. I don't care if you're tied tongue or you don't talk English. Maybe you'll bring someone that can communicate in English and say what you have to say in their language, and then you can transfer it to English and maybe get to communicate that message, because I believe everybody has an important message to communicate, and I want them to say what they need to say and feel good about what they need to say. So if somebody did them wrong and they want to speak on that, and I don't care if it's a woman that did you wrong, I don't care if it's a man that did you wrong, and if you think other people need to know about it or talk on that subject matter, then move forward and get that information on television and get it out there in cyberspace. And YouTube keeps all my shows, and they'll be around forever. That's what's so beautiful about POFO Community for Justice. A lot of people will say, well, your show is a little grainy or a little this. I'm just saying, is my point being gotten? Is my message being communicated? And is it being translated into where it should be functional, where people can make a difference in people's lives? Because that's what's going on. And I mentioned that 9/11 because that's very horrific. And white people, 10 years later, they done been conned into believing that in New York that was horrible. But human bodies had blown into bits. I mean, little pieces. That's the violent explosions that were taking place at the buildings, the Twin Towers, and body parts are blowing everywhere. And then people try to con you or cajole you into saying, if you don't take this deal right now, you may not get no insurance or get paid off. But the people that got recompensated, that when the Twin Towers had dropped, they were given billions of dollars. and then to rebuild it from the ground up. And a lot of people talk about a lot of things that Americans have done to have tried to cover this con up, and then went and chased a different country to try and act like they are the culprits. And I'm just saying, don't buy into all that crap, because that's exactly what it is. And they're blowing smoke up your behind, and you're sitting around here thinking, passing you some pleasant gas in your face, and they're just crapping all over you. And I just want you to get stronger and better focus. So my show isn't for children. It's for anybody that got sense enough to think and play to win and continue to look forward. So people, when you see me with these dogs and this ass on the table, it's not a child show. This is for people that are really trying to move forward and that are playing to win and want justice for all human beings, because that's what my show is all about. And I may mention white people a lot, or white Americans, or white human beings a lot, but this country, they're responsible for a lot of things. And if their color happen to be white, well, there it is. But you have, nowadays, you got a lot of black people that do horrible things, Negro, colored, black, African Americans that do horrible things in 2016. I'm saying I'm not excusing or forgiving these things at all. I'm just saying justice for all human beings, and that we need to not just go to countries and kill up everybody because they're supposed to be related to ISIS or related to somebody. Because as far as I'm concerned, when they say those different titles, it reminds me of the Negro race. They brought us here as slaves, or brought my forefathers here as slaves, and then tried to act like they didn't have no brains and that they need to be guided as human beings. And thank you, Brother Ron. And they would kill them, and the daughters would be raped, and the sons would be raped, and all kind of things. And you would see the pictures of them hung from trees as an example to all whatever what Negroes were, that this person could be you. And if people had wanted to, I know that in Boston there was a time when the lady claimed that, or the man claimed that it was a colored person that killed my wife, and then later on Boston found out this was a white man that did all this. He murdered his wife and blamed it on the Negro race. And so tons of things we get negative credit for, just like as I speak about O.J. Simpson. Here he is in his 60s. They gave him some outlandish sentence because it's just trying to get revenge. And when they do a movie about O.J. Simpson, even to this day, here 20 years later, this girl has been dead, and that other guy from that restaurant that was supposed to be bringing her glasses, people are still vengeful and want O.J. Simpson to suffer. But he has done all kind of terrific, amazing things. He was in the movies and did all kind of things, which was lifting up our Negro race, or our Negro colored black African American race. And everybody gets quiet. And then people try to convince whatever few black people that are Negro colored black African American people that are left that he did it. And I'm looking like, well, he went to a trial and they tried him for these crimes, and his wonderful lawyers, which cleared him, exonerated him from these crimes, that he was found innocent. Then they say, well, but he was sued. Yeah, I wish that I could win a case and come back later and sue you for millions of dollars, or what they sued him for, and win. But normally poor people don't be put in those kind of positions to sue people. When they lose the first time for whatever felony it was, then they're not gonna win on the next leg. Should be easier to win. That's what everybody says. But when it comes time to what fight, is like you're fighting a losing battle. So always tell the truth, always be honest, stand up and be counted, and tell the truth and preserve your information. So if you come on Poor Folk Community for Justice, speak in your heart. Hopefully, if you died or whatever happened to you, or had any kind of a situation that would cause you worry, you would not be able to better communicate your message, then get it said on Poor Folk Community for Justice, whatever day it is, like today. Everything that me and Brother Broussard talk about will be preserved for years, and maybe long after I pass away, that maybe someone could try and push the issue forward, because I know I'm right and I'm telling the truth. And when I had my probation officer and parole officers act a zip damn fool with me, I would definitely talk about it on television. I would show their pictures on this Elmo machine, which is sitting over to my left, and I'd show the pictures of the trifling judge, the trifling probation officer, or the trifling parole officer. I didn't care, but I was making sure that I got their name and information out there. And so if anybody else wanted to come forward and speak about that, a lot of people would talk to me about, oh, that person used to be my parole officer or my probation officer or whatever. And I'm glad that you spoke on them. I'm gonna say, you're welcome to come on my show. And the thing about it, a lot of time when I'm dealing with Negro, colored, black, African Americans, they're slow to come forward. A lot of times they think like, well, if I step on these people's toes, and if I'm smoking dope or getting high, they're gonna make my sentence worse. And that's what they'd be afraid of. I don't know why they haven't come forward, because this is an open forum to say what you need to say and to express what's from your heart. And we do movies. We do, when I talk in terms of bands or whatever, they're welcome to come and be on the show. We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute left. All you wonderful people out TV land, God Almighty love you, and I love you too. And thank you, Brother Ron, Dorn, and Sister Ellie. I'm so happy that you're back. She's out of the country, and she was greatly missed, and always is greatly missed, because I think the world of Sister Ellie, and she's fantastic. And I want to thank Brother Steve. He's African American that came and helped us on our show. I look forward to getting him back. But the main people, Sister Ellie and Brother Ron, they've been very elegant and wonderful in keeping my POFO community for justice moving forward. And I deal with people of all races, and they help to make sure that I get the shows on television that'll talk to the issues that I'm making an issue of, and that these will be highly educated white people that will be talking about things that the marijuana laws that are illegal and all this thing, try to make it a Schedule 1. So I got 25 seconds left, but I'm going off right now. So thank you very much, and praise God Almighty for all you wonderful people out there in TV land. Stay strong and stay focused and play to win.